Hi everybody, welcome to another invitational edition of the CrossFit Games Update Show. I'm Sean Woodland with Pat Sherwood, and we are coming to you once again from the campus of HGST that is serving as the main practice facility for the 4 teams that are taking part in the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Invitational presented by HGST. Up first today, the Canadian team, and the coach of that team is the man who runs CrossFit Tyrannus, a team that has been to the CrossFit Games 5 times. They finished 3rd in 2011, and our favorite team because your team brought gifts.
Right to our heart.
Thank you. Yes.
Sugar.
We have some maple syrup and what?
Some little fudge treats.
Probably maple butter. That looks like maple
that's
butter.
maple butter.
Yeah.
These might last for the show.
This is good. Yeah, they'll be gone by the time we're done. But your team has a very, I think, diverse group of personalities. How have you gotten them to work together towards one common purpose here?
I told them that we were a reality TV show.
I buy that. It's not far from the truth.
No, they're actually not as diverse as you would initially think. I mean, they're all CrossFitters. They all they're here with a singular purpose, and that's to win this event and to come together as a team. So, you know, although individually they might have different thoughts and training methodologies, when we come together, they really are about being a strong team. I don't see any conflict with personalities.
We spoke earlier on Skype, did the Skype interview, and actually you impressed me more than any of the other coaches, I'll say that right up front.
Thank you.
You said you were going to kind of get to know these athletes a bit more and figure out what role would best, fit each person. What did you find out?
Well, just through discussion and through their background in sports, they've all played team sports. 3 of them have been team captains in other sports before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So actually the discussion about who was going to be the team captain wasn't just cut and dried, hard and fast. There was a bit of dialogue back and forth. Based on her experience, we ended up going with Camille, experience in this particular type of event. Mm-hmm. The only one that didn't have any captaining experience was Lucas, but he did have a lot of team sports background. So what I'm finding through dialogue and through now one practice and being together is that we do have a leader in Camille, and everybody's very active in participating in the practices and in what we want to do as a team. But the other 3 are definitely fine falling into the role-playing role, and I think that's their team background, understanding that it's okay, it doesn't diminish who they are in order to step back and allow a leader to step forward and understand that their role is as important in the unit as if they were a leader or a role player or a specific specialist.
Sure. Well, you mentioned you've had one practice.
We've had one practice.
So let's talk about that. Again, when I spoke to you on Skype, you struck me as a coach that you were going to have a game plan. It wasn't going to be kind of fly by the seat of your pants. So you had one practice, and a little birdie told me that Australia practiced yesterday as well, and they just smoke-checked themselves, went really hard, and you guys chose a different path. I heard more technique work or whatnot. What did happen at that practice?
Yeah, I am a planner, so I like to have a sequence in place. My focus yesterday, being that it was our very first practice, was none of these guys have worked together, so there was no music on. The initial drills that we did were very much about simple movements to do as a team, and then how to communicate synchronized movements and how to communicate transitioning through simple processes throughout a workout and how to talk your way through that. And then based on the fact that we do know 2 of the events, I really wanted to focus specifically on clean movements in those events that we know, discuss a little bit of strategy about how to approach the 45 for 45. Even though it's very simple on paper, there's a lot that can be won and lost in that event. And I really wanted to make sure that the team had a good grasp and a good understanding of where that can be won and lost. I mean, it's minutiae that are going to separate the first place team from the fourth place team in that event. So,
what's some of that minutiae that might not jump out to everybody at home?
I think it probably does jump out at everybody, but maybe not. It's clean reps or fast reps. Transition time is going to be very, very important. We don't know how the floor is going to be set up, so we made it as taxing as possible to get through the event itself. But idle equipment and cycle time and transition time is really what's going to win and lose that event.
Okay.
And then we moved on to discussing strategies for the lifting. Again, we know that there's lifting. We don't know the format of the lift. I mean, there's so many different ways you know, it could be a 3-attempt format, it could be a time format, it could be alternating snatches and clean and jerks format. It's just, they can give us anything.
CrossFit would never throw a monkey wrench into it.
Exactly. So I just chose a format, and it just happened to be a specific format that we've seen a lot. And I just said, okay, we're gonna practice this format, and then just had them build up to openers and kind of critique a little bit of each other's technique. We're all good athletes. We're all good coaches. So as much as I took the role as watching everybody, I also allowed the athletes to work with each other. You know, and they're pairing up in that event too. So what I really wanted them to be able to do is communicate with each other. If they're standing like they did last year, which is face to face, and say I'm off to the side and I can't give specific cues, I want them to be able to cue each other and coach each other through it, as well as focus on what they're doing. So support each other in their lifts, as well as perform.
Reed, thanks so much for stopping by, and good luck on Sunday. Let's take a closer look at the team that Reed has to work with. He has the reigning fittest woman on earth in Camille Leblanc-Bazinet, and the woman who finished 4th at the CrossFit Games, that's Michele Letendre. He also has a pair of very powerful men in Lucas Parker and Paul Tremblay, and Miranda Oldroyd is standing by with both of them.
Thanks, Sean. Lucas, Paul, first time Canada's had a team at the Invitational. How does it feel, first of all, to come and compete in the Invitational, and then also to represent your entire country?
It feels great. Yeah, it's the first time Canada has their team. Obviously, last year we had some good representation on the Team World, and they did awesome. But to have our own team, I mean, it just shows that the sport's growing and that we can actually compete on a world stage. So it's going to be fun.
That's right. I mean, it's a great honor to be invited here by CrossFit, and it's an awesome opportunity to show you know, how we do things in Canada.
I think it's interesting to see how 4 individual athletes will come together as a team. We've gotten to watch some of the other teams practice already. Your practice focused a lot on teamwork, communication. How is your team coming together, and how would you describe, I guess, kind of the vibe of the Canadian team?
I mean, we've been having a great time the last couple days. I think we all get along really well. I'm actually the odd man out. They're all speaking French a lot, so I'm picking up a few things. But you know, we don't really know. We know a little bit what we're doing in the workouts, but we really don't know much. So we're not focusing too much on trying to pick out funny movements. I think we're focusing more on the teamwork and the timing and the communication, which is going to pay off on the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Reed has done a great job at programming little things that we can work on in terms of timing, in terms of transitions, and essentially that's probably the most important part. I mean, we all come from, you know, sports backgrounds where we understand the essence of teamwork, and that's what's going to make a successful team.
Similar to the European team, you've got 2 very, very strong female athletes kind of leading the charge here. You've got the 1st place female from this year's games and the 4th place female. Have they, Camille and Michele, put any pressure on you guys, said anything to you guys to kind of, you know, kick you in the butt or anything like that?
Oh, they don't have to say anything. No, we feel it. I mean, we got number 1 and 4 in the world. But at the end of the day, numbers don't mean shit on a team. Excuse my language. But we're all a team, so it doesn't really matter if you came 1st or 42nd. I mean, we're going to work together. It's a 2-hour event, and yeah, our girls are strong, but the team is stronger.
Yeah, what he said.
The whole thing. One area that you guys are the favorite, and people are saying, hey, I think the Canadian team has this event, is the strength event, the clean and jerk and the snatch. We don't know the format of it yet, but just with the information that we have so far, is that an event that you guys expect to win?
I think we're going to do very well. Again, we don't know the format. We don't know if we're going to be on a timer, number of lifts, whatever, like if we're going to have time to warm up. So everyone's kind of in the same boat. So in that sense, everyone being on even footing, I think we have a very good chance of taking a top spot.
The other event that we know is the thrusters and the pull-ups. How do you feel that you stack up against the other gentlemen, I guess, at least, with that event?
Very well. I mean, just like any other event. But you look at a movement like the thruster and the pull-up, I mean, our range of motion is a little smaller. I mean, we have smaller limbs, and that makes us really good at lifting. So, I mean, you throw pull-ups and thrusters there, and it's just going to be an all-out sprint. I don't think we'll be holding anything back, so we'll fare well.
Well, great practice session today. Thanks for talking to me, you guys. Back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Miranda. And joining us now is the captain of the Canadian team and the current reigning fittest woman on earth, the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Games champion, and that's Camille Leblanc-Bazinet. Thanks so much for stopping by. First off, how has your life changed since winning the CrossFit Games back in July?
I would say, first of all, I'm still the exact same person. Like for that, nothing changed. I'm still hungry to become as good as I can be. Just haven't found the limit of my fitness yet, and very excited to keep going with that. I think one of the first things that changed is it's funny now that you have a title, how many people wants to help you, which I appreciate a lot. Life got kind of easier on that part. I think the biggest reward for me is more like having this title that go with the journey that I put in. So the way my life changed is just that I did have a reward after all the work that I put in. So for me, that's the biggest thing. Outside of that, I would say people call me the champ, which I still can't really like, not that I can relate to it, but I like better what my husband say. He always said that I'm the fittest munchkin on earth, and that like makes me laugh more than anything else. I guess that's how it changed, and it also changed with the fact that now I feel like I can like bring the message that I believe in more into the world and hopefully help people change. It goes a lot with this old mold of what like women should look like, and for me, what a confident person is and someone that is beautiful is people that achieve things, that put their word into action and truly make a change in the world. And I think that we should value people this way and not just the way they look. So this is kind of my message, that now by having more visibility, I can try to spread out.
Well, you put in the work, you put in the time, and you earned it. You won, fittest woman in the world. And so how does that experience help you in the role of team captain for Canada? I
think being the fittest munchkin on earth, like, don't necessarily help a team. I think of course you have a good asset in the team because you have someone that is well-rounded. But I think that I've learned a lot more by doing the Invitational last year on how to be captain of a team. Having the experience of doing team workout and team event really help you as a team a lot more than understanding how to push by yourself. I think there's a big difference with being able to just be relentless with yourself for a team, for something bigger, greater than yourself, is very different than just being you for you.
You mentioned last year you were part of the team that won it. Knowing what it took to win, what's the biggest challenge that a team faces in such a short time to get ready for Sunday's event?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is you need to learn to know each other really fast. You need to know how to talk to each other really fast, who is acting, which way when they train, what does this person need, now how you need to maybe change this person's vision for X, Y, and Z. I think that communication, knowing how to talk to each other, how to make quick change and make sure it's loud and clear for everyone, I think that's what is the hardest to do because they're all fit. Everyone's fit here. So everyone can do the work, but now is how can I make them be the best version of themselves on competition day for the team?
One final question for you, and you might have given me a hint in what you said earlier when you mentioned that you hadn't even peaked yet in your fitness. So won the games, second time, multiple times coming back for the Invitational, just did the team series, follow you on Instagram, you're putting up crazy numbers as usual, Olympic lifting as well, competing in that aspect. What can we expect from you looking forward to 2015? What's next?
Well, it would be boring if I tell you right now.
A hint?
Just stay tuned.
All right, more to come.
A lot of stuff. Obviously, getting stronger, getting faster, having more endurance, getting better in gymnastics. What? Just getting fitter.
Sounds like CrossFit.
Sounds like CrossFit.
Camille, thank you so much for stopping by, and good luck on Sunday night at the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Invitational presented by HGST. It starts at 4 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday, November 9th. If you can't be in San Jose, you can watch the entire event on games.crossfit.com. If you are going, show up early, 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. Tailgating, food, beer trucks. We'll have Vendor Village out there, and the first 2,000 people through the door get a 2014 Reebok CrossFit Game program. We'll be back in a little bit when the Australia team shows up for their practice. For Pat Sherwood and Miranda Oldroyd, I'm Sean Woodland, and we'll see you next time.